Number 5 on the review packet, what we have is another trig problem. So let's start with labeling the sides based on the angle that we're using. So this is the hypotenuse, opposite the right angle. If that's the angle we're using right here, then that leg is the opposite leg, and this is the adjacent leg. So we write down our acronym. Numbers, opposite, hypotenuse. Let's use sine. So sine of 6 degrees will equal the opposite side to the hypotenuse. Sine of 6 degrees is 0.1045. Now I put that over 1. I'm just going to show you one time. I'm not going to do this every time, but the reason I set it up like a proportion like last chapter, we just got done with similar triangles. What I want to express to students is something very important. Trig came along because what we noticed was if we have a right triangle with a specified angle, in this case 6 degrees, it is similar to every other right triangle with an acute angle of 6 degrees. They're similar. So what we can use is the ratio of two sides. So if we know what the ratio of these two sides are, we can use that to give us a proportion to work with for any other right triangle with a 6-degree angle. Now, so somebody studied this. They called this ratio sine, opposite over hypotenuse sine. And sine of 6 degrees is telling us, we don't know exactly the numbers, but it's going to be a 0.1045 to 1 ratio between those two. So now you can see why I write trig values this way. It's 1045 to 1 is the same as 1,000 to x. Okay, so that's what's going to happen here. Whoops, I should have replaced that with, sorry, 1,000 to x. Okay, so now we treat it just like last chapter. It's nothing different. Okay, it's the same concept as last chapter. Now it's cross multiply. Okay, and we'll divide by 0.1045. We don't have to do that. Okay, 1 times 1,000. Everybody knows it's 1,000, so divide by 1045, and we get x equals, it looks like 9566.7722. I think if they don't say, yeah, it doesn't look like they're saying, so let's just round to 2 places. And is it feet? No, it doesn't say. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Okay, next one, perimeter of the triangle. Number 6 is really designed to kind of be a memorized problem. So this is a 30, 60, 90. If you have a 60 degree and a 90 degree, there's 30 in the other one. And what we learned with a 30, 60, 90 is this side's 2, that side's 1, and then that's square root of 3. That's the ratio for the standard 30, 60, 90 right triangle. Now we can use proportions if we want to solve for x, or what you can notice is it's a 1 to 2 ratio. X should just be 100. 50 times 2 is 100, so x equals 100. Whoops, that's one piece. Find x. Okay, use 30, 60, 90 ratio 1 to square root of 3 to 2. So I'm specifying why I got 100 that easily, so I can still get full credit because that's showing my work or the theorem that I'm using. Okay, then we're going to find the perimeter of the triangle. Okay, so I can see why they made it a little more challenging. This will have to be 50 square roots of 3. Again, you can see why. That's the ratio of the sides, right? 1 to square root of 3, so you're multiplying by square root of 3. Perimeter is going to be 50 plus 100 plus 50 square roots of 3. 150 plus 50 square roots of 3. They're not saying to round. You can, but you don't have to. All right, so number 7, let's see, west. Okay, so after I read that, I kind of thought, okay, so she's got stake in the ground, tying her down, but then a west wind pushed her, okay? Pushed her this way. So let's see. So she was right underneath, right? But she got pushed west, so left. All right. Now, looking back at the bottom now, it says that she's looking at somebody, her son, on the ground. Let's assume that her son's right here, okay? All right. Let's assume that's a right angle. They want to know how high off the ground that is. Let's call it X. It's a 100-foot rope, so that would be the hypotenuse. Okay, a little tricky. Angle of depression. So what we do is we have to look parallel to the ground. Let's assume that's the ground, right? So if she's looking back this way, she should be looking right here. Depression means you're looking down, and then that's 39 degrees. Okay, so that's how I interpret the picture. Compared to the 39, that's opposite. This is the adjacent leg. So we're going to use, let's figure out our trig function from this. We got opposite and adjacent, so tangent of 39 is going to be opposite over adjacent. All right, so whatever tangent of 39 is, where'd that go? Yeah, 0.62932. Some more stuff after it. And then that's going to be equal to x over 100. Okay? Cross multiply. 1 times x equals 100 times 0.629. And we're looking at 62.93. Did it say? Nearest foot. So approximately 63 feet off the ground. There it is. Maybe one more. Okay. All right, let's say we're driving along, right? And here's a cliff that we're approaching. Let's assume the road, the cliff, make a 90. All right. And we want to look up to see it. So you should look parallel with the ground. Have to elevate to see the top. So that's 11 degrees. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we have a 3-mile distance to the base of the cliff, right? So that's 3 miles. But they want to know how many feet. Okay, so the first thing I'll probably do is convert 3 miles to feet. All right, 1 mile is 5,280 feet. If you don't memorize that, it's okay. There's a conversion, there's a reference sheet and all that. So I like to do proportions, but you don't have to. I'm going to say 1 mile for every 5,280 feet. And what I have right now is 3 miles. So then we call that x feet. Most of you could probably figure out it's just 3 times 5,280. But I like to give students a system to use. It is, in fact, multiply. And that's somewhere in 15,000 something. Yeah, 15,840 for the feet. Oh, wait a minute. Let's not use x. I was going to use x for... you know what? We'll call that y. We'll change that to y. All right, now I want y feet. Change this to 15,840. All right, And then this leg compared to this angle, this leg is touching, so adjacent. That leg's across, so it's opposite. And of course, this is the hypotenuse. So if we're looking at our trig functions, it's like tangent. So tangent of 11 degrees will give us opposite over adjacent. 11, tangent of 11.19438 to 1 is equal to y over adjacent 15,840. Cross multiply, whatever 15,840 times that is. And it does say nearest foot. I go and get 3,079 feet when I round. So that's it for this one.